Woman noticed something strange while boarding the plane. This was supposed to be the only flight today, but there were only a few passengers in the huge cabin. Just as she sat down, the overhead light started flickering non-stop. The man next to her said it was normal. That finally made her feel a little better. But right after that, there was a loud commotion from the rear cabin. An elderly woman said in panic. She needed to get off the plane right away. No matter how the flight attendant comforted her, it didn't work. Kate quickly stepped forward to help. She happened to be a psychiatrist. She suspected the old woman was having a panic attack. After some counseling, the old woman calmed down a lot. Then Kate returned to her seat, fastened her seatbelt, and heard a metal scraping sound above her. She quickly asked the man beside her if he heard it, but Lucas just looked confused. Yet the sound kept echoing. Suddenly a wave of unease came over her. She rushed into the bathroom, splashing cold water on her face, trying to calm herself down. Then she suddenly heard her mother's voice outside the door. She turned around and found the bathroom door had changed. Kate quickly pushed it open. She found herself back in her childhood home. The place was empty with no one around. Her mother's voice came from a bedroom. Kate hurriedly opened the door, only to find herself back in the airplane cabin. Kate stood there in a daze. It all felt like a hallucination. But just as she turned to go back to her seat, she felt a shadow behind her. She turned around, and the shadow vanished into thin air. Her briefly settled nerves were on edge again. Kate slowly walked forward to check it out. Suddenly a hand landed on her shoulder. It was the flight attendant asking her to return to her seat. The plane was about to take off, but the earlier feeling felt so real. Kate returned to her seat and kissed her daughter. That real touch gave her some relief. Soon the plane started taxiing. After a smooth takeoff, Kate finally relaxed. Up front, a businessman was about to enjoy a drink. He turned and noticed the artist behind him seemed to be sketching him. He asked about it, but the artist had a bizarre expression, then suddenly blurted out,
"Pendulum that dies down."
The businessman thought he was acting crazy, so he just ignored him. Not long after, all the few passengers had fallen asleep, while the two flight attendants in the front cabin just sat there emotionless. They didn't move at all, and there was no emotion in their eyes. Suddenly all the windows on the plane turned red, but the two flight attendants still didn't move like puppets. Bathed in the red light, Kate began to dream. In the dream, she was 7 years old again. Her mom had just prepared dinner. Little Kate was happily eating, but when she looked up at the mirror, her mother's face was covered in blood. She quickly turned to check on her mom, but everything looked normal. Then she looked back at the mirror. It was still the same terrifying image. Little Kate started to suspect the woman in front of her wasn't her real mom. But just as the woman was clearing the dishes, Kate heard the metal scraping sound again, and then her mom's body began to twist and distort. Kate suddenly woke up from the dream. Thankfully, everything in the cabin looked normal, but soon the plane started shaking. It was turbulence. The flight attendant told everyone to stay in their seats. At that moment, a passenger in the rear cabin suddenly had trouble breathing, then collapsed to the floor. Kate told everyone to lay the man flat. After she performed CPR, the man suddenly opened his eyes and grabbed Kate's neck, muttering strange incantations. Kate quickly pushed the man away, but none of the other passengers saw what